And the Oscar goes to...
Never underestimate the power of a great script and superb acting. In May 1946, The Wisdom of Eve by Mary Orr was published in Cosmopolitan magazine. It was inspired by a story the author heard from European stage actress Elizabeth Bergner. Supposedly, Bergner once let a young fan live in her house and even hired her as an assistant, but later she thought ill of the decision when the fan began undermining her. The subsequent 3.5-page Orr story was read by director and screenwriter Joseph Mankiewicz in 1949. That same year, Mankiewicz had written and directed A Letter to Three Wives, which was nominated for Best Picture and won Mankiewicz Oscars for writing and directing. Mankiewicz had been toying with the idea of painting a story about an aging actress. After reading Orr's story, he convinced Darryl F. Zanuck to buy the rights to it. He combined elements of his tale with that of Orr's to create All About Eve. Margot Channing, played by Bette Davis, is an unquestionable star of the stage. Fans come in droves to see her perform. One such fan is the innocent and insecure Eve Harrington, played by Anne Baxter. Eve is obsessed with the theater. She particularly sees every play Margot does as many times as she can, and would love nothing more than to be in the presence of her idol. She gets that chance and more when Margot's friend, Karen Richards, played by Celeste Holm, introduces them.
I'd like anything Miss Channing played in.
Would you really? How sweet.
I doubt very much that you'd like her in the Harry Ape.
Oh, please don't misunderstand me, Mr. Richards. I think that part of Miss Channing's greatness lies in her ability to pick the best plays.
Have you really seen every performance?
Yes.
Why? I'm curious.
Well, if I didn't come to see the play, I wouldn't have anywhere else to go.
There are other plays.
Not with you in them. Not by Mr. Richards.
But you must have friends, a home, family.
The two form a close relationship, with Margot even allowing Eve to work for her. Everything quickly turns sour when Margot, who's already uncomfortable about her age, begins to think the young Eve has ulterior motives to steal not only her part in the play, but her longtime director and fiancé, Bill Sampson, played by Gary Merrill. Eve has done nothing but put herself down at every turn and worship the ground Margot walks on. So Bill, Karen, and Lloyd, Karen's playwright husband played by Hugh Marlowe, have a hard time believing Eve is capable of anything so treacherous. Margot isn't convinced and is sure Eve intends to step all over her to become a bona fide stage actress. George Sanders also stars as Edison DeWitt, a snobby but smart theater critic who takes special notice of Eve. The film was a hit for 20th Century Fox and was the second highest grossing film of 1950. It made history at the Oscars by becoming the first of 3 films, as of March 2017, to receive 14 Academy Award nominations, breaking Gone with the Wind's record of 13. It is the only movie in history to receive 4 female acting nominations, 2 for Best Actress and 2 for Best Supporting Actress. All About Eve's screenplay is often considered one of the best ever written. Along with winning a second Oscar for directing, Mankiewicz received another Academy Award for writing, the first and I believe only time someone has won both awards 2 years in a row, and later in 2013, the screenplay was given the number 5 spot in the Writers Guild of America's 101 Greatest Screenplays list. The screenplay has been praised for its dialogue, wit, and intelligence. Let's begin with its wit. It has one. In abundance. Take the opening narration, for example.
The distinguished-looking gentleman is an extremely old actor. Being an actor, he will go on speaking for some time. It is not important that you hear what he says.
Or this line from George Sanders.
Oh, waiter.
And that isn't a waiter, my dear, that's a butler.
Well, I can't yell, "Oh, Butler," can I? Maybe somebody's name is Butler.
You have a point. An idiotic one, but a point.
Or this extremely dirty comment from Celeste Holm.
She apologized, didn't she?
On her knees, I've no doubt.
Or maybe that's not dirty and my mind is just in the gutter. Either way, this film can be seriously funny. Very cynical at times, but funny. It's not only a witty script, but a smart one as well. Mankiewicz avoids many of the usual cliches and surprised me by the directions he went in. He also has an obvious love for the theater and has a lot to say about it. What kind of people are attracted to the theater? What happens to old theater actors? What makes theater theater? How valuable is stardom if you alienate everyone around you and end up with no friends? I don't find any of his answers terribly mind-blowing, and he doesn't go greatly in depth about every point, though maybe he didn't need to, but they're all great discussions. The dialogue is captivating from start to finish. Rarely have I been taken in so thoroughly by the words coming out of an actor's mouth. It's almost like music. There's a definite rhythm to the dialogue that keeps you hooked to every near perfectly chosen word, whether it be funny or serious.
You were about to tell me about Eve.
You'd have been proud of her.
I'm sure.
She was a revelation.
Oh, to you too.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, among other things, it must have been a revelation to have a 24-year-old character played by a 24-year-old actress.
Well, that's beside the point.
It is right to the point. Also, it must have seemed so new and fresh to you, so exciting to have your lines read just as you wrote them.
Addison.
So full of meaning, fire, and music.
I'm not saying every line works or that every witticism lands, but most do, so I can't complain too much about what falls flat. But where would great dialogue be without a great cast? The cast is sublime perfection, especially Home, Davis, Baxter, and Sanders. Home is effortlessly natural. She's not reading her lines, she's just being. You can forget you're watching an actress at work. All you see is a very real character. Davis is strong and at times biting and abrasive, neither of which I was surprised by. What did catch me off guard was her gentleness and vulnerability. Despite all her genuine strength and talent, Margot was obviously worried about her age and her future as an actress, which seeps into her personal life and her insecurities with Bill. You really worry about her. It makes Eve's scheming and backstabbing all the more nail-biting and frankly thrilling. I actually debated whether or not to reveal Eve's intentions. I never want to give away major spoilers or plot twists in my reviews, but admittedly Eve's true nature isn't a huge surprise, so I felt alright giving it away. I also could not resist talking about what a perfect villain Anne Baxter is in this movie. For much of the film, you're not quite sure what Eve is up to. Is she just a starstruck fan who wants to help Margot in any way she can? Or is there something else going on under the smile and total lack of confidence? You slowly see Eve enact her treachery as she lies and exploits her way to the top. Then there's a turn where we finally see Eve's true colors. And my god, are you not prepared for just how horribly manipulative, destructive, and downright crazy she is. She's not an abusive Bill Sykes or a murderous cannibal like Hannibal Lecter, but she's just as terrifying and intimidating, if not more. All she does is talk, and I got chills. But the true highlight in this pool of shining stars is George Sanders. My lord, does he play such a magnificent bastard. He's sophisticated, intelligent, stuck-up, calculating, and in some instances, a downright terrible human being. But he somehow makes you like him in a weird way. Partially it's his dry wit, partially it's I don't know what. But he draws you in and you enjoy every second he's on screen. If only one of the men from this film could get nominated for an Oscar, I'm glad it was Sanders. So if you're still somehow unsure where I lean with this film, I'm telling you now, go see it. It's not my favorite of all time, and it does have flaws, but the good far outweighs the bad, and you'll enjoy every moment of learning all about Eve.